All right, as we go into this next section, I want you to be thinking. So on one of your social media channels, maybe it's your personal one, maybe it's your business channel, think about people who support your stuff, right? Versus people who have never supported anything. Now, isn't that kind of interesting? It's maybe an interesting way to segment that group of users. All right, so now expand that concept of segmenting to things like channels. Is there something that's different about one social media channel or maybe your newsletter list? Like, do they behave differently? Are they different personas, right? Because coming up, you're gonna learn how to start tracking segments. Now, primarily with things like UTM tracking, but when Maya gets into the practicum, you're gonna see this practicum is awesome. You're gonna learn about Google Tag Manager, and we're gonna start trying to basically connect this idea of segments with things like trackable digital behaviors. So some concepts that you're gonna need going forward, for example, are source. Like, what does a source mean in analytics, particularly like UTM tracking? Well, it's the digital location where traffic came from prior to landing on your URL. Now, what's a medium in analytics? So this is the type of path. For example, email, online ad, social media post, etc., taken to bring a user from that source to your URL. Now, what is content in analytics and UTM tracking? So this is your title for a unique combination of words and visual elements that you used to attract users to your URL. Okay? Now, what is an event in analytics? This is going to be really important in things like Google Tag Manager and sometimes in your analytics goals, if you remember from our analytics section. So this is an instance of a user taking an on-page action, like maybe clicking something, or a page load action, for example, visiting a page. So what is a trigger in Google Analytics? Or beg your pardon, what's a trigger in growth hacking? Okay, so this is when an event that you've just learned about causes some digital mechanism to be automatically performed. And this comes to be really important when it comes to things like email triggers, marketing automation triggers, remarketing, which these are concepts that you're going to learn more about coming up. All right, what's a lead magnet in digital marketing? A lead magnet is something of value offered in exchange for information that can be used to identify and communicate with a user. All right, so you're gonna need those concepts coming up. Now, what's coming up? We're gonna dive you into the fundamentals of email marketing, how to promote lists to things like B2B users or email lists, and how to track your activity using UTM codes. So let's bring these UTM codes to life a little bit. I'm gonna put this image on the screen here, and what you can see is how your UTM codes appear in something like Google Analytics. And this will enable you to do things like think about segments, how they're different, how to communicate with them. Hopefully, if you can learn how to segment in things like MailChimp or your email list provider. And in the final part of this section, you're going to see a couple of practicums with Maya. One is where Maya builds the lead page that we're going to use as the practicum that we're building with you. And I've sped it up to just improve your learning experience and streamline it. But you can find a full version at a link in the study guide, bit.ly/easelghguide. And then you're going to see a practicum that Maya does where she dives into Google Tag Manager, and you're going to learn how you start bringing tags into Google Tag Manager, and then how you start to track on-page events or page load events so that you can start doing things like getting into usability funnels and really interesting stuff like that. So let's dive into this next part of the course. I'm thrilled for you to get there.